This podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Listen to other great tech podcasts at www.techpodcasts.com.
This is Techwebcast.
Computers.
Technology.
Gadgets.
And other geeky stuff.
It's on iTunes. It's awesome.
And it's from the future.
Follow us at twitter.com/techwebcast
And
On
Facebook and check techwebcast.info for info. Techwebcast.
Turn on, tune in, drop on.
And welcome to episode 259 of the Tech Webcast podcast, recorded on the 5th of October 2013. Tech Webcast is recorded every Saturday and rebroadcast on Aussie Tech Heads on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Please rate us on iTunes and like us at facebook.com/techwebcast. Your hosts today are Brad, Jody, Jacob, and myself, Andrew. And I believe we have a birthday coming up towards the end of this month for Jacob as well, so looking forward to that. How you doing, Brad?
Hey, Mr. Andrew, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, doing good, mate. Doing good, thanks.
We do have a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we do. So that should be good.
It's going to be big and huge, and it's going to be fun. We've got Jacob from the USA, as always. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you. You should say big, huge, and round.
Okay, whatever. That's great. Okay, whatever. Jody, what's up? How are you, mate?
Hey, hi, Brad. What's up? It's gorgeous here. We're in fall. I know our seasons are a little bit different, and the leaves are just starting to change, and it's absolutely magnificent.
All right, Zafo, Andrew, give us a quick, brief rundown, mate. What's been going on?
Oh, okay. Look, as usual, we've been really busy the last month, year, week, whatever, on the Zafo platform. We've been working through the app, and it's starting to come together. It's still obviously in sort of an alpha type build at the moment. We've got a very small distribution of it, but it's really pulling together at the moment, which is really good. I know a couple of you guys are using it, which is great, and it's helping us to learn a lot about what works and what doesn't work. And actually, Brad, we've just put up a new homepage too at zafo.com,
Yep.
where we're now inviting people to secure their @name. So whatever name you want, whether it's at Joe Blogs or at Bill or at Bob, right now there's spaces available as far as trying to get first name or your first and last name. The opportunity is there to get a good name, so you can jump along to zafo.com and type in a name, type in an email address, and that will secure it for you so that when we're ready to go, you'll get an email so you can create your account with your @name that you've secured.
Next question, when will you be ready to go?
That is a really good question, and I'm experienced enough in the IT industry to not give you an answer.
Hey, you know what, Andrew? Maybe you can share, because a lot of people obviously haven't had a chance yet to play with Zarfo. They don't know what it is. Maybe you could give a little brief description, because I know some of the audience. I think it's brilliant, and I think that eventually everybody's going to want to be on Zarfo. But for those who haven't had a chance to experience it yet, maybe you can just run through a few of the details about what it is.
I appreciate the kind sentiments there, Jody. Basically, what Zarfo is, it's a video social platform. So obviously you've got existing social networks, and they're fantastic, and we don't want to be out there to compete with them. What we're trying to do is create a really simple, easy, concise user experience for creating video content. With Zarfo, you can click a single button, create a 30-second video that's not square, that's widescreen, and a lot better quality than other video platforms out there. Or you can click a button to create a 60-second or 1-minute video, or you can click a button to create a live video. That live one will jump out to all three of them will jump out to all of your social streams. So it'll go straight onto your Facebook, straight onto your Twitter, your Google, whatever you're actually using. And with the live one, you can do a real-time broadcast from your handset if you're at a party, at an event, at the beach, and you can do that, and people can watch and comment and question live in real time. So we're not going to miss any of these sorts of moments and things like that. And I understand that there are other companies around. Google Plus has a great function for doing live hangouts, and if you've got X number of YouTube subscribers, you can connect it up to your YouTube and go live out from there. But what we're trying to do is we're sort of trying to make the experience a lot simpler and a lot easier, and we're trying to create a brand that is compelling to a younger audience than what some of the others sort of have. So we're really trying to just create a simple video social platform.
I think it's awesome, and I think I know that you're still working through a lot of the idiosyncrasies. If people want to learn more, how would you suggest that they get into the ground floor?
Okay, I guess the easiest way to get in is to just go to Zafo.com, and you can create a username on there, and then using your email address, you can secure that username, and we'll be sending an email out to everybody who's done that. There's quite a number who are starting to do that. We'll be sending an email out on the date that I just gave Brad before, so that they can then sign up then and start to use the platform. If you're really keen and you want to know a bit more earlier, you can shoot me through an email. It's just andrew@zafo.com, nice and simple, and let me know who you are and what you're up to, and we'd certainly love to have you on more of an alpha version of the app, and you can have a look and sort of work with us a little bit and help us get it ready for other people, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, well, I'm already addicted to it, Andrew.
I appreciate that, Brad. Where it's kind words, and I try not to always talk too much about it on the show because I know we've always got other topics as well. But it's been a long time coming. It's been a good couple of years of my life to try and bring this product to where it is, and it takes a long time and a lot of failing and succeeding to bring something to market. And where the product is now is only the absolute start. We've already got a video chat feature that is doing video chat with a 0.2 second delay, and there's a number of other things that we're doing as well which are quite unique. On our camera, you can take a photo. We've got a selfie button to take a photo, and we've also got a photo button where you can click on it and it will delay for 5 seconds, so that you can put your camera up next to the coffee table or next to something, jump behind it and be in the photo with somebody else. So I don't know of any other sort of apps that have a delay photo function, so we've got that in there as well. So there's a number of things that we're doing which is a little bit different, and we're hoping that people are going to enjoy what they see, and we go through from there. Yeah,
definitely. What about is Android very soon too? Is that correct, Andrew?
What's that? Sorry, Brad?
Android, the app's going to be made for Android very soon, or in the future?
Yeah, it is. We've got the Android app underway. We're working at the moment more closely with the iOS platform, but we will definitely be finalizing the Android, hopefully not too long after we finalize our iOS platform. So it just takes a bit of time to obviously get all of that done and organized, but definitely the Android will be not far behind iOS.
All right, and also, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention this, but can I anyway?
Probably not.
I'll just say it anyway. You tell me off anyway. You have actually submitted the app to the App Store, is that correct?
Yes, and yeah, you're not allowed to.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we have submitted it to the App Store, but it's very much a preliminary build at the moment. So there's still a number of things that we need to do to it. So even if we get approval, it won't be at market for a little. We've still got a number of things that we want to do before we really push it out. But we just want to get Apple's feedback and start to have a bit of a communication, a bit of a relationship, show them what we're up to at the moment. Because effectively, we're not just creating, an app that has, a singular function that connects to social platforms. We're effectively creating a social platform, where you can add friends, you can create followers, you can create content, you can share, you can do all of these sorts of things. So we figure it's probably not a bad idea to do that early, sort of let them know what we're doing, and if there's things that they don't like right now, there's things that need to be worked on, we want to know about that sooner rather than later, so that we can get it to a level that Apple want us to be at, so that it's accepted to the store.
Yeah, definitely. And how many users have signed up so far with their username?
Look, right now it's not that many. It's hundreds, not thousands. But we only sort of started that process last night, hours ago. So we'll be giving that a bit more of a push this week. So we expect that page to be up there for at least a month or so before we're ready to sort of take the covers off what we're doing.
All right, that's good, mate. Sounds good. Now, Jacob, do you have any questions for Andrew about Zafo or any about the app at all?
Not really, but I've been playing it with it while you guys are talking about it.
Okay, that's great. So Andrew, did
it crash on you?
No, it didn't crash on me. So can anyone sign up for using the beta app at all, Andrew, or can anyone do that?
As I said earlier, Brad, I mean, the short answer is no. The long answer is yes. If anyone's interested in sort of getting on board and helping us test and go through the processes, which some people enjoy, it's an interesting procedure that you've sort of got to go through. Then, by all means, shoot me through an email, andrew@zafo.com. And, we'd love to have you on board. But as far as a final, commercial build, commercial release, that won't be for a little time yet. But if anyone does want to have a look at what we've been up to, but by all means, get in touch.
Definitely. I can't wait for the final launch and what you're doing. It's good stuff, Andrew. Good stuff, mate. I love it.
No, and I really appreciate, all of your confidence. As I said, it's a lot of work that's going in, and, there's a lot of work behind, but a lot of work ahead of us. And, hopefully we can get it to where we want it to be.
Yeah, definitely. I actually remember you starting from day one with the app, actually. I remember when you did that sort of work, and it's came a long way.
It's been a while since around the start of the year we started doing the app.
That's good. All right, Jody, we got some news today.
Yeah, we do, actually. And sad to say, you Android users, that apparently Android is back to losing share. In the news, Apple takes 40.7% share as the top U.S. smartphone maker. Samsung gains too, but Android, oh well. In the U.S., Apple's dominance as the top smartphone OEM has not only surpassed the 40% mark, but it appears that it's going to keep growing. Samsung is gaining as well, but not as fast as Apple, and rounding out the top 5 are HTC, Motorola, and LG, all of which lost share or remained flat. In the platform space, it's still Google. Google is first, courtesy of Android. Apple is second with iOS, but the latter continues to gain on the former. In fact, Android is back to losing share while iOS is eagerly pushing onward. Rounding out the top 5 again are BlackBerry, Microsoft, and Symbian. In the latest data from ComScore, which regularly surveys over 30,000 mobile subscribers in the U.S., they said that the market, there's 145 million Americans who owned smartphones. That's a 60.8% mobile market penetration, and that was as of August, and that's up 3% since May. So kind of interesting that Apple, the 5S and 5C, they weren't even available when this report was done. So I'm sure that it's going to be even a stronger story for Apple. Meanwhile, the Motorola Moto X received decent early reviews, but just like the new iPhones, we have to wait for those numbers to come out. So anybody have any thoughts about that story? Or?
Well, I really like the Moto X phone, but I won't be getting one, but I like the iPhone 5S. Andrew, what do you think about that? Sorry.
Well, I was just about to say, all of this is just because the new Apple devices have come out and put that whole thing, in the bin, but this is before then. So as you just said, Jody, that's... What does that mean for when the new devices come into the numbers too? Apple may be well ahead. I think at the end of the day, as far as iOS and Android, the short reality in one sentence is Android probably has a lot more that you can do with it. It's more functional, but Apple just has a user experience that can't be beat. So Jonathan Ivey, industrial design engineer at Apple, that's what people want. It's all about user experience, and I think that's why Apple's ahead. The iPhone 5S has 1 gigabyte of RAM on it. The Samsung Galaxy 4 that has 2 gigabytes of RAM. The average consumer would have no idea of that. It's double the memory. Who cares? We don't care about that anymore. All we care about is user experience.
All right. Welcome, Paul, by the way. Welcome, mate. Welcome back to Techwebcast, mate. Good to have you on again.
Hey, how you going, bro?
I'm good, mate. Good to have you on. Jacob, what's your view on that story?
Well, what I think, Android, I think, for their phone side is a bag of hurt.
Yeah, that's what Craig Shipp says. Jody, do you want to just give a quick rundown on what you said about the story, so Paul can have can give you feedback on that story?
Yeah, Paul, it's basically who's on first. Right now, the Apple iPhone is leading with almost a 40.7% market share. They're gaining. The Android is kind of losing market share. And that's really kind of the gist of the story. And those numbers were reported by ComScore before the 5C and 5S were launched. So,
are these like global, or
no,
is
US?
US. Oh, okay,
US.
So we don't know what it is globally.
You know, the thing that surprised me the most is that 60.8% mobile market penetration. You know, when you think of, almost 70% of, I guess it's adults in the U.S. are now carrying smartphones. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Everyone I see around Melbourne has an iPhone, and, people still buy them.
Well, Brad and I had a conversation last week. We were walking along in the city, and we both had a really good laugh. I sort of said to Brad, because I'm always looking at who's carrying what device, particularly, as we were just discussing, creating an app at the moment myself, I'm really keen on who's carrying what, who's doing what. And I keep hearing that Android's overtaking, and half of the people running around have got Android. Friends Chris Voss and Robert Scoble, these guys are using Android now. But when I walk along, when I look on the train, I say this to my wife, everyone has got an iPhone out. Yeah. They're all playing with an iPhone. So where are these Androids? I said to Brad, where are they? And he said exactly what was in my head, in people's pockets.
Yeah, they don't carry, I carry my phone in my pocket and stuff, and
people with iPhones are out playing with them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm probably going to get dirty emails. Maybe that'll be exciting. But people with Androids, they don't play with them. They don't have the apps as much. They're not out flicking, and they put them in their pockets, and away they go.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I went back to the iPhone, because I just found the apps way better than on the Android. They just work so better on the iPhone. And they're just well better made. Built.
Exactly. So even though we talk about distribution numbers for phones, but the real test is not necessarily. For me personally, the real question is not around distribution, but it's around what people are using as far as apps and how long and how often they're accessing content, those sorts of things. So that's the real question for me.
What about you, Paul? Do you still use your iPhone a lot, or what?
Yeah, I use my iPhone a lot. Android not so much, because there's a few things wrong with the Google Play Store. I think there's no quality control at all, and there's more crap in there than there is on the iPhone, because they don't filter anything, and you can even get a virus within Google Play Store, and that's just using the store. That's not going to third-party websites and downloading applications.
Okay, so you got the gold iPhone, is that correct?
No.
What colour did you get?
Space grey.
Oh, sweet. Okay, good stuff. That's good. So you loving the phone now?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Jody, next story.
Well, an interesting story this week that has to do with also with the iPhone. Siri, that voice that responds to everything that we ask. Apparently, it belongs to a woman by the name of Susan Bennett, who is a middle-aged white woman from Atlanta. And she ostensibly recorded this voice years ago and didn't know exactly how it was going to be used. She's a Georgian suburbanite who does Zumba, and she went to Brown. But hello, she apparently is only one of dozens of artificial voices we hear on a daily basis. And if you think of your commute to work, you might have used a GPS or took the subway or passed through a bus or train station. More than likely, you heard a voice actor. The British Siri is somebody by the name of Daniel. They call him Daniel, and he's a British accented male. He allegedly was a former tech reporter named John Briggs. And then there's also the Australian Siri, Karen Jacobson, who is also known as GPS Girl. She's reportedly the voice behind the Australian Siri and a range of GPS brands. She's an aspiring singer-songwriter, and she's parlayed her various ambitions into a second career on the inspirational speaking circuit. I don't know if you guys have heard of the GPS Girl, but she is somebody to know in Australia.
That's way
So
cool.
anyway, yeah, and there is video if you search for it, or it'll be in the show notes of Susan Bennett. Personally, I heard her voice and I heard Siri. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the connection there. But I mean, she says it's her, so Apple has not confirmed nor have they denied it.
Could you tell the difference if you're on your iPhone on speakerphone if it was Siri or actually her?
I don't think she sounds the same. I mean, but you figure Siri is I don't know, like more automated as opposed to a person having more intonation. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Jacob, do you have a view on that story?
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, huh. But I didn't know if it was true or not myself.
All right, what about you, Andrew? What do you think about Siri, and do you use Siri at all?
I don't use Siri, and I honestly don't know why.
Well, mate, you should get into it. 'Cause I love Siri. I love Siri. You should get into it, mate. It's really good. It's really fun to use.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know. It's I do need to start using it, I think, but it feels weird, and my experience was very early with Siri, and it never got it right, and I've sort of been jaded a little bit by that, so I probably need to have a look again.
Yeah, Siri's very smart. It's very smart at all. Paul, do you use Siri?
I use it, but I'm not like one of these people on the train that use Siri because I still find that quite odd that someone would use Siri on the train. The fact that they're talking to their phone and they're actually addressing their phone as Siri is quite hilarious to me. So the only time I ever use Siri is to create reminders because it's easier.
Oh, okay, fair enough. It comes in handy with that sort of stuff. Jacob, do you use Siri? I know you use it a fair bit, do you, mate?
Right here.
Then.
Jacob, you going to answer me or not?
Actually, I'm gonna let Siri answer.
Oh, God, okay. Okay, go on, hurry up.
I have one big ass thumb.
Are you going to get Siri to talk or not?
Hi, Andrew. Hi, Jody. Hi, Brad.
How'd you do that?
Can you make it?
Is that all she's going to say?
Can you make it say techwebcast.info?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
I'm just typing it in.
Oh, what?
Okay, we've got dead air. Okay, let's go to the next story, Jody.
Okay,
come back to me with it.
All right, okay, we'll do it. Yep.
I'm going to continue on the iOS 7. Apparently, there's some common bugs, and there's some tips on how to fix them. For example, when you try to send a message and it doesn't go through, apparently Apple is working on a fix for that. But sometimes it looks like the text may not be going anywhere. If you need to fix the problem right now, what you need to do is settings, general, reset network settings, and that should get your messages delivered. If not, then do a reboot. There's also some lock screen vulnerabilities that give people access to your information. Apparently, iOS 7 has had a few lock screen vulnerabilities, and even if they don't know your passcode, sometimes people can get into your information. But to fix those bugs, what you need to do is update to iOS 7.02. The most recent bug allows people to access your phone on the newest firmware, and while that's not exactly the worst thing in the world, you can keep it from happening by disabling Siri on the lock screen. So to do that, what you need to do is go into Settings, General, Passcode Lock, and then allow access when locked, disable Siri. There's also another app right after launch. A number of iOS 7 users complained that apps like Mailbox and Snapchat repeatedly logged them up, and it turned out that the problem was iOS 7's new background app refresh feature. You know, like how you can turn it on and it just refreshes the apps for you. So most apps have been updated to either remove the feature or work properly with it, but if you're still having problems, then the way to fix that is go into Settings, General, Background App, and disable any apps that aren't working. There's also audio apps that crash when you get a text, a call. And apparently, right before the launch of iOS 7, Audio Bus sent out emails to users warning against upgrading to iOS 7 because music apps were crashing a lot on iOS 7. The most problematic bug happens when you're using an audio app and someone calls you. When that happens, the app crashes and you lose all your data. Apps are getting updated to work properly with iOS 7, but the bug still remains in a lot of recording and music apps. So right now, the best fix is to enable air code when you're making music. And let's see. Oh, here's another one. And this is I have another story on this one too about this. You know, with the iPhone 5S, there's the A7 chip, but then they also have this M5 chip. Well, apparently the accelerometer, is it an M7 chip?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Well, apparently the accelerometer is not very accurate. I'm glad you're listening, Paul. Thanks. Somebody is. So this problem is specific to the iPhone 5S, but unfortunately it is a big problem. A number of 5Ss have screwy accelerometers, which means that the compass, the gyroscope, and the level are not working properly. So if you're a gamer, that's kind of bad news. Also, anyone who uses an app with an accelerometer, and it's a bit unclear whether this is a hardware problem or a software problem or both. On Mac, rumors are trying to figure it out. For the time being, your best bet to fix this problem is to exchange your phone for a new one. So a few little bugs going on with the new phone, but I think that accelerometer thing is like the biggest issue right now.
So, okay, let's go to Paul first. So, Paul, have you had any issues with your phone since you had it with iOS 7, that sort of stuff?
No, I haven't experienced any of those issues before.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, the whole Siri vulnerability thing, I just don't let anyone touch my phone.
Yeah, same.
That's the easiest way I can secure my phone.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, Andrew, what about you? Have you had any them problems with iOS 7 or?
Not really. I mean, there seems to be, though, like everyone, there seems to be a lot of problems and a lot of people talking about iOS 7 and sort of all that's happening with it. It just, it's like I don't know, there just seems to be more issues with this than there have been with previous iOS builds. But I haven't had any of these major issues, really.
No, I haven't. Okay, what about you, Jacob? Have you had any problems at all, mate?
Not really.
Okay.
Not that I can notice.
All right,
or can tell.
All right, what about you, Jody?
Actually, I have had problems. Not anything that would deter me from recommending an Apple device, but the kinds of problems I've had have been, I've had this issue with messages not going through. I've had my passwords, suddenly it comes up and it says that the password's not in there anymore to re-enter the password. That seems to happen repetitively. In the Waze app, sometimes it just is not, it's just not finding where we are. It just doesn't seem to pick up. I don't know if it's, my phone's working, so I know it's connected, but the map function stops working, and it can't take, like when you send an alert that there's something on, it won't take it. So, some of the apps act a little bit screwy. I've had apps that just close on me for no reason. Instagram, for example, Facebook. But I think, as with anything, when it's a new release, there's always going to be growing pains. So I don't condemn it, but I do think that there are bugs.
All right, good stuff. Next story.
Let's see what we have. Adobe, big problem. No, that's not it. Okay, we'll do this one anyway. Here's one on Adobe. Okay, so Adobe Flash Player, it's called Shumway. It lands in Firefox, and they're saying it may be the death knell for the Flash Player. Mozilla has taken one giant step closer to making Adobe's Flash Player a thing of the past with the inclusion of their own HTML Flash Player called Shumway. Shumway landed in Firefox 20 nightly, which has yet to make Aurora Branch. But according to the tests, even though Shumway can be loaded, it's disabled by default. It's pretty much in an unusable state right now. Hey Jacob, you put the story in here. Maybe you could share with us. What are you seeing with this Shumway thing? What do you think makes this? Because it sounds like it's still unstable. It's not quite ready to rock and roll.
Okay, what I read basically from it is that they're, like you said, they're going to try to take out Adobe Flash and go to HTML5. I had Firefox, and I had a lot of issues with it, with the Flash, because sometimes it cuts the videos in Firefox, but in Chrome it doesn't. You see the whole video when it's in full screen, but on Firefox you have like a cut. Half of the video was cut off like a box.
Interesting story there, Jody. Andrew, what do you have an opinion on this? Or?
Yeah, it's a bit surprising that they're doing this, because I thought WebRTC was the next thing that was going to take over from Flash. There's been so much talk about that sort of video function jumping through browsers and issues with Internet Explorer, Microsoft, taking it on board because of, their vested interest in Skype. But now there's something else that, Mozilla or Firefox are doing. That you'd want it to be good, because I definitely like the idea of what WebRTC is trying to do by getting all of the browsers on board and create a standard. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing after all the effort that's gone into that, or whether they're sort of unrelated.
All right, what about you, Paul? Do you have a view on this story, mate?
Well, if they do have one standard, then the good thing, I suppose, will be we don't have to continually update Flash every 5 minutes when Adobe pushes out another update. I think it's great that the actual browser is controlling all this rather than an external party like Adobe.
All right, good story, Jacob. Jody, any other news stories?
Yeah, I started saying about how Adobe was hacked. Evidently, was hacked and data from millions of customers was stolen. They reported on Thursday that they recently suffered a massive security breach. This compromised the IDs, passwords, even credit card information of nearly 3 million customers. They're investigating, and it seems that the attackers accessed Adobe customer IDs, also the encrypted passwords. They believe the attackers removed information related to almost 3 million Adobe customers. What we're suggesting is that you should change your password, which kind of makes sense. They've alerted federal law enforcement authorities of the attack. They've informed their banking and payment processing partners. The company said it would reset relevant customer passwords as a precaution with affected customers. And if you were affected, you should anticipate receiving an email notification which will instruct you to change your Adobe password. They also suggested that if you use the same password, and a lot of people, I just don't know why, for other sites, that you should change the other sites too. I mean, I'm not guilty of that. I try to use different passwords, but anyway, I don't know if you guys are Adobe users, but that's pretty upsetting news.
I don't use Adobe. Andrew, do you use Adobe at all?
Yeah, I do. I mean, well, for the video stuff that we're doing, a lot of that is through Flash. But to be honest with you, I don't like the Flash platform. It crashes. It's not very reliable. So we really are hoping that there's something else that comes through. WebRTC has been the forward plan, but this is something interesting to sort of look at.
Paul, what about you?
Well, I think it's to do mostly with their cloud services that they've just released. I think that story, from what I understand. So you know how you can have the entire Adobe suite in the cloud. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's probably their first time to do this type of stuff. So I wouldn't think they'd have any experience in this type of thing anyway.
All right. Good answer. Jacob, I know you don't. You like it, do you? On Firefox and whatever. It works on.
Yeah, Chrome, it works a heck of a lot better because they're using Pepper Flash.
All right. Jody, any other news stories?
Yeah, another kind of fun story. Google, the question is whether Google's getting to release a smart watch.
Wow.
We don't know whether this is going to happen or not. You know, they've got Google Glass, which has been very popular, and they announced also that they are talking about kind of like an app store for Google Glass. Well, now, apparently, there are rumors that there is a Nexus smartwatch, codenamed Gem, which is possibly going to launch alongside Android 4.4, which is also known as KitKat, on October 31st. So I don't know if you guys have heard anything. I know you're keep your ears to the ground.
Well, no, me personally, I haven't heard anything about this new smartwatch from Android, but you know, and Andrew, have you heard anything about this?
No, I haven't. I mean, all I sort of know at the moment is feels like everyone's doing a smartwatch of some sort. So it's definitely, you know, an adoption path for a lot of these technology companies. Maybe they think that we're just not ready yet for the glass type thing, and a smartwatch is a nice interim.
What about you, Paul? Have you heard anything about Android smartwatch?
Oh, yeah, I heard a little bit of rumours about a Nexus branded type watch, but I think the popular one now is the Pebble and the new upcoming Galaxy Gear or whatever that only works with one phone, the Galaxy Note 3,
Right.
which I think is... I don't think the Galaxy Gear would actually sell very well if it's just for the Galaxy Note 3.
Yeah.
But I think Google would come out with something that's more universal if they do come out with a smartwatch, like they did with the Chromecast.
Mm-hmm. Chromecast, I've never used. I've got one, but I don't use it. I don't.
I know, right? Nobody uses it. Everybody had to get it.
Yeah, you've got one, haven't you, Jody? And you put yours away, right?
I have two of them, actually.
You
I
have
have
two.
one in my office, and I have another one installed anywhere. But I'm thinking it's either going to wind up going back to school with Jackie, or I'm going to ship it down to my mom in Florida. But yeah, it was. Everybody was saying that you needed to get it. It was all the rage, and now I have it, and it's like, okay, what's next?
And have you also noticed on Google Plus, everyone has an Android phone? I don't know many people on Google Plus that have an iPhone besides you, Jody.
Oh, sure, a lot of people do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know, but you know, it's all run by
Of
Android.
course, but you know what? It's Google Plus. You know, of course, there's going to be a lot of predisposition towards Androids, but you know, I think that the 5S is a really fine piece of technology. As long as that little M7 chip, as long as that works, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, any other news stories at all?
No,
Jody?
that's the news.
All right, Andrew, what's your final thought on this show? And I want to wrap up with the best.
Final thoughts are, everybody be good to your mum and enjoy the rest of your week.
And you want to mention Zafo again, or?
Oh, yep. Jump onto Zafo.com and reserve your @ name early, as it says there. You can still get a good name. All you need to do is type in what you want, put your email address in, and we will be in touch with you once we're ready to go. You'll get another email where you can go through, finalize your account, and start using the app, and be a part of the future. We've been here for a while, getting things right. We're not going away in a hurry.
Exactly. Well said, Andrew. I agree with you, mate. What's the Twitter name on Zafo? And
okay, you can grab me on Facebook and Twitter /CunningDrew, and you can get me on Zafo /Andrew.
And also on Twitter at Zafo as well.
Yeah, correct. At Zafo on Twitter.
Yep. Good place to contact Andrew if you want to be on the beta and stuff. You can get me on Twitter at Brad Oz on Techwebcast. I love the new Zafo design, Andrew. Great stuff, mate. The
Thanks,
website
Brad.
is
We're working
well
through
made.
it.
Yes, I've seen some great stuff from you guys. Jody?
You can find me on Twitter as Sunswept, and you can find me at my website, webmarcom.net. Find me here at Techwebcast. You can find me on Google Plus Week, and soon, I keep saying this, A2SM. And look me up on Zarfo when you get on.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, add her on Zafo. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be so cool. Jacob, final thoughts and that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. The show was pretty good.
Yeah?
And I'm speechless.
Okay, and where can you get you on Twitter?
Jazzbot36691Z.
All right, Paul, what's your final thoughts on the show, mate? And you've just come in halfway through the show, so what do you want to say?
It was a good show for the half of it that I was on.
Yeah.
It was all good.
All good, mate. All right, what's your Twitter name and stuff?
So you can catch me on Twitter, Google Plus, and YouTube, and it's all pcarey12.
pcarey12. All right, good stuff. And Jacob, you got a message from Siri before we go.
Watch and listen to Techwebcast at www.techwebcast.info at 10 p.m. Estate USA, 12 p.m. Australia time.
Wow. That is fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, Glenn from Aussie Tech Heads. Join Will, Eric and myself as we bring you the latest, most up-to-date important tech news that affects you from Australia and the world. Weekly podcast available each Friday through iTunes. Watch the live stream recording of the show at live.thesecrethub.com each Thursday night 7:30pm or GMT plus 10. Call in live via Skype or chat in our lounge. However you get us, just make sure you do. Listen or visit our website for more information, www.aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's longest running tech news podcast.
Well, that's it for Techwebcast this week. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed having your mind expanded. Tune in next week for more tech talk with Brad, Jason, and whatever crazy guest they've managed to rope in. Don't forget to get the Techwebcast